Hey guys, welcome to the Revision Podcast. I'm Will.
And I'm Grant. We started this podcast. We were just hanging out at the City Museum one day.
St. Louis.
In St. Louis, Missouri. That's where we're from. And we're playing hide and seek, and we're hiding in these like cave areas.
So random.
And we just were reading scripture. We were reading Revelations 13 about the beast. And then we continued reading more stories in Revelations. And Will just looked at me like very serious. And he was like, "Do you want to start a podcast one day?" And I was kind of like, "Yeah, I think that'd be fun to start a podcast." And here we are.
Here we are.
First episode.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me as well.
I'm hyped. So today, I think we're going to talk about some of the gray areas of Christianity.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
You got the list?
Yeah, I got
You have notes. I don't really have much.
Yeah, I just kind of have like some of the gray areas that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't have like specific stuff talking about each of them. But I think we were pretty well known with this stuff that we're going to be talking about. So I think we've
heard plenty about it.
All right. So what are your opinions on drinking?
I think being drunk is a sin. Obviously, it's said in the Bible.
Yes.
I don't think taking a couple drinks and like if you know your limits, I don't think like taking a couple drinks is like a bad thing if you're of age, of course.
Definitely.
Because under it, that would be sin. Yeah.
Follow the law of the land.
Yeah. But I just think being smart, knowing your limits about it. And yeah, like I don't think a couple drinks is gonna hurt.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it just depends on who you are though. Like if you're somebody and you know you're like prone to like addiction or like you're gonna keep drinking more and you're gonna overindulge in that, then don't do it. Or not telling you how to live your life, but you know, I think there's some do's and don'ts to it for sure.
Yeah, I think definitely in terms of drinking, you want to be smart with it, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think early on with, like, if you are 21 and you start drinking, there probably will be a time where you over drink and you become drunk. But I feel like realizing that that's not something you want to do is very important early on, and knowing your limits early on.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody's gonna fall short.
Definitely. Like, we're not here I'm not here saying that I've never been.
Yeah. We've all sinned.
We all have. And
no judgment.
Yeah. But again, like what you were saying, like knowing your limits, and if you do not know your limits at all, then that's when you have to be like, all right, this is something I cannot partake in anymore. All right.
I
feel like we hit that pretty well.
I think that's enough for that one.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next.
All right. The next one is dating.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Now, okay, dating's weird. We both read Welcome to Adulting by John Pakula. Did I say that right? Pakula.
Jonathan Pokluda. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry, John.
No, but I think he has some great points in that, and that there's no dating like in the Bible. It's not like biblical.
It's very new.
Yeah, very new. Like back then it was a bunch of like arranged marriages everybody, I don't know.
Parents would set each other up.
But like, I mean, obviously I don't think dating's bad. It's hard not to date in like this day and age and stuff. Unfortunately, depending on the scenario, you can't just get married right away.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I think dating with the intent of marriage is for sure like something that's needed. Like if that's not a thought in your mind, I don't think you need to be dating.
Yeah, definitely. And also having the thought of marriage like like intending to get married.
Mhm.
Like, I know I'm ready to get married.
Yeah.
I just need to go find someone to marry.
Yeah.
So like, don't go into it as like, oh, I'm just gonna date to just date around
Yeah.
or do anything like that. No, like, if you're ready to get married, then you're ready to date.
Yeah. I think a common thing like nowadays is like people just date to not be lonely.
Yeah.
And like so they have somebody to, that constant attention and stuff, which is a whole nother I could probably make a whole episode about it.
Yeah, that's a
But
deep topic.
yeah, but I think like if if you're struggling because you feel lonely and you just are relying on a person to do that, I don't think you need to be dating either. I think that's when you can turn to the Lord and pray and like dive into his word. And who knows, by the time there's no time limit on it, but like you'll probably find a point where you're ready, and then you've also taken all this time by yourself to learn like and grow spiritually. Yeah.
Yeah, I said to Will a couple of days ago about dating. I was like, if you go into, actually, I don't remember if I said it to you, but I said it to somebody.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
If when you go into a relationship, you should not be looking to focus on having that person depend on you. And that's where a lot of like young relationships fail, because this person will put all their problems on their significant other. And once that fails, like if that fails because that person can't handle all of your problems, you need to go. And then once that's over, because they're going to realize I can't handle all this, you're going to have no one to rely on. But instead of that, for it to succeed, you need to have a relationship with God, God's someone who can handle all of the problems that you have and all of your worries and all of this. You cast all of that on him. And whenever you get into a relationship, there's more than just one person.
Yeah.
You have God who's going to be able to help you through all things. And your significant other is going to help you, obviously, in some things, but not everything.
Yeah.
And having that relationship with God at that point is very, very important. And making sure your significant other has that relationship with them too. Like, that's something getting into a relationship, you want to make sure they have that as well.
It's like I can't remember specifically what the verse is, but it's very common. It's like it's become more of a trend at like weddings now, and it's the one that's like 3 chords is stronger than 2. It's like just 3 chords is stronger, and they'll like twist the 3 chords together, like symbolizing like that, them, and you have God, and everything's intertwined with that.
Yeah.
And everything's surrounded or each person's focusing on God.
Yeah. Having a relationship with God at the center of it is is the best thing to do with dating, starting a new relationship with somebody. Making sure that is the center of it.
Yeah. And like another thing too, like most people aren't going to be at the same spot in their faith. And one thing that I've heard a lot is like you could be here and the other person can be here, but as long as you guys are both like actively pursuing like the same direction,
definitely,
then like I think everything will be great.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, like I wouldn't want to be like, how do I say this? Like not be with somebody because they're on a different level than me. Like if I'm like just starting my faith and then I'm trying to date somebody who is like years in their faith, and they're like, sorry, I can't date you because we're not the same level. Like, I don't think that's like, if I'm trying to get to where you're at, I need somebody with me at the same time. Like, I might have community as well, but also having a significant other that's going to bring me up. That's even, I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
All right. Let's talk about gambling.
Yeah. So we kind of like we looked into this more recently, because me and Grant and a couple of our friends were hanging out, and we were all playing poker and stuff, and we all put in like $10 on it and stuff, and then halfway through, I'm like, wait, is this like sinful to be doing this? But like I did a little bit of research after that, and we kind of looked it up during our like game. Um, from what I found, and I could just like I might not be that educated on it, but from what I found is that the act of gambling isn't necessarily like a sin, but if you're being greedy and overindulging on that, and you're like it's a problem where your paycheck is going straight to gambling and
Mm-hmm.
straight to the casino, then like I think that's to the extent that where it would become a sin. But like it's not my place to judge what's a sin and what's not. Like I just don't think $10 with your friends every once in a while
Yeah.
is like,
And
a
I
bad
know
thing.
it's not going to like a bad
Yeah.
place, but it's yeah, like what you're saying, it's like it's the addiction of it
Yeah.
because not knowing when to stop. It's kind of
Mhm.
like what we were talking about with alcohol,
Yeah.
not knowing your limits, like saying, "Oh,
Mhm.
it's only one more hand." Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like whenever I play poker, like I know when to stop.
Mhm.
Like I'll play for
Yeah.
$10. If I lose $10, I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
it's not my night. I'm playing awful tonight, so I'll normally just cut it off then. Occasionally, I'll buy back in for another 10,
Yeah.
but that would be like the absolute last thing I would
Yeah.
do is to buy in one more time. And then if I
Yeah.
lose all that, then I'm like, all right, I don't deserve to play tonight.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
And it's like you're having fun with like your friends and stuff. And like I don't know, it was just like I think of like gambling and stuff, and I just think of like a toxic or more of a toxic environment.
yeah,
I'm 20 though. I've never been to an actual casino. That's just from like,
yeah. I've never been to a casino
media
either.
and whatnot. But like when we did it, it was we were literally worshiping. We were listening to worship music, also having side conversations about like we were wondering, like we were literally researching in the middle of it if it was like a
Yeah,
sin and
it
stuff.
was very much like it was just a good environment. Like we knew
Yeah.
like what we were doing. We're like, I don't think this is a sin, but
Yeah.
like I mean, we were having fun with it.
Yeah. One thing I can't remember where I heard it recently though, but I think it was from a sermon I watched from like 2023 at the porch. Also, Jonathan Cluda's church. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong though.
The church, the porch.
I'm pretty sure that's where he does stuff at. Maybe he just does occasionally.
He's shaking his head no.
Oh. Misinformed. Anyways, the guy, I also can't remember the speaker's name. I should have written everything down.
This is great information.
Yeah. No, but he said something about like if it's like to ask yourself like a question, like if it's like getting in the way of your relationships with people, then like yeah, that's a problem. If it's consuming your life, like if that's like I said, like if that's you're getting a paycheck and you're going straight to that, and you can barely pay off like rent or whatever, that's obviously a problem, because at that point that is like that's consuming your life, and that's like worshiping like false like idol, like that's an idol in your life, and that's you're
Yeah, it's
worshiping
like
that.
it's your worldly
Yeah.
idols instead of like yeah, especially like if like you do go to church
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm not saying like you have to give, but like church does like say
Yeah.
give. the Bible says to give.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if you are refusing to give, and then you're like the night
Yeah.
before you were spending $100 at the
Mhm.
casino, like that's definitely a
Yeah.
bigger problem than anything, I believe.
Yeah.
But I do believe it's where your heart is with it.
Yeah.
Like again, like what I'm not saying what we do is like the
Yeah.
way we do it,
Yeah.
like the perfect way to do it. Like this is God's image of it, like what God designed.
Yeah.
We just believe that I don't believe we're doing anything wrong when we do
Yeah.
that.
And they're like, we might not be educated enough to know, but I mean,
What we have researched
yeah. What?
is
Yeah.
is that if it's an addiction, then that's the problem. And I don't. It sounds like someone like an addict would say, like, I don't have to play poker ever again.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. I don't. It's fun. Like, I play for free.
Yeah, I play for free too, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Losing's not fun though. And like I know if I lose, then I'm like, all right, then I need to cut it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
What's the next one? What's up next?
So do you want to talk about smoking, or do you want to talk
That's a
about?
good one. I like that one.
All right,
We
smoking.
can do the next one after too. We can do whatever.
Yeah, let's talk about smoking.
Yeah. What about it? Like, is it a sin? That's a good question. I'm not for sure on that, actually. If smoking is a sin,
My opinion on it,
I believe it is.
I also believe it is.
Yeah, I think either way it is, whether it's legal or not.
Yeah.
But that's something else that.
And I'm not even just talking about weed. I'm talking about like cigarettes
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's something that you're putting in your body that doesn't
Yeah.
benefit you at all.
Yeah, it doesn't belong there.
It ruins your life. It ruins your lungs.
God
It just
didn't-
ruins everything.
Yeah, God didn't create it to be in our body.
So I just kind of, I don't know. I just like think of it. I was like, it's nasty. Like,
Well,
there's nothing cool with it. I feel like.
yeah, and it's very addictive.
Yeah.
Like, I think that part out of all of it is like probably the worst.
Yeah, being addicted to it.
Yeah. Not like the worst sin wise. The worst, like,
Part of it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just like, I've never really like, I've talked to a couple people about like we talked to
Yeah.
one of our friends about Zins.
Yeah.
And I don't really know too much about Zins, honestly.
Yeah.
So I can't really say if that's a. But I also believe that like, if it's truly is affecting your body,
Yeah.
then I believe it is probably a sin.
Yeah.
Because like, God didn't create something
Yeah.
for us to be like, to put. God didn't create something to be put in our bodies that's gonna deteriorate us. Like I don't know. It just, I don't see like the value. Like people are like, it relieves my stress. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't
At that point-
you don't need that to relieve your stress.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty of things that
Yeah.
can relieve your stress.
Like, again, I think it goes back to like the worldly idols thing. Like, if that's you're waking up and you're like, man, I need this.
Yeah.
That's, again, like, that's, you should not be like worshiping these worldly idols that like obviously like aren't that good for you. And again, like we said at the beginning with the alcohol part, everyone's gonna fall short. This specific thing though, with these, like with smoking and like, you know, nicotine especially, it's a very addictive thing. And if you do fall short, that's going to be a major struggle, like to have to overcome that.
Definitely.
Which it's doable, obviously. I think there's been plenty of people I know that have gone through that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who have gone through the addiction of nicotine. And I've just, not just nicotine, but also weed.
Yeah.
I've seen people just lives changed from
Yeah.
it. And it's sad to see, because I'm like, I knew you when you were sober from that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I look at you now, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
It's insane how much like
Yeah.
that stuff can change somebody.
Yeah, because like I mean it like does alter your brain.
Yeah.
Which, where was the one? I mean it's the same. Like hold on, I'm gonna read the one verse I had. Hold up. It's about like being drunk, but it's Ephesians 5:18, and don't get drunk with wine, which leads to reckless living, but be filled by the Spirit. I think it's almost like identical, like with both of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like if it's stopping you from pursuing a relationship with Jesus,
Yeah.
that needs to be cut off. I think for all of the things that we've talked about, that's a fair statement for all of it.
Oh, definitely. I feel like your relationship with Jesus is the most important thing out of all of
Yeah.
this. Like, as long as it's not affecting that, like, then we got something to work with.
Yeah.
But if that's something that's like severing that relationship, then
Yeah.
that is something that we're like, all right,
Yeah.
you need some help.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's when you need to repent, pray,
Definitely.
find community, especially
Man, community.
confession. Community, man.
That's a good podcast episode.
Huh.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We can talk about one more, honestly.
Yeah.
Like entertainment, like music, movies, television, like
Yeah.
some stuff like that.
I think the biggest thing that comes to mind with entertainment is pornography,
Yeah.
which is also again very addictive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big struggle in a lot of like honestly probably like a lot more than you'd think of like people's lives. That's been a struggle in for sure.
Pornography?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know how much we want to touch on that specific topic.
We don't have to touch on that, so we can talk about that later.
Yeah. But entertainment too. You have the day like nowadays there's so much that's like not necessarily like sin, but I feel like a lot of it as a Christian is like I'm not gonna say bad for you. I think it also again this depends on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're the type of person who's gonna sit there and scroll on TikTok and you know like consume all that brain rot,
Yeah.
that's I'm not gonna say it's bad for you. Like I mean I'd do it, but I think you can obviously be spending your time better. I don't even think this goes
Definitely.
for like being a Christian. I think this is just a life like
Yeah,
thing.
honestly. But like with the whole thing with entertainment, there are a lot of things that we watch and
Yeah.
are not good for us. Very recently, the Olympics.
Yeah.
That I didn't know about that until a couple of days after, because I was off
Yeah.
social media for a while, and we were just
Then when we were in Colorado.
yeah, when we were in Estes Park with our
Yeah.
church, one of our friends was like, "Hey, did you see this?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What?" They showed me the photo of
No, yeah, that was crazy.
this, and I was just like, "Wow, that's something." And it's something that I have no control over. Like I can't stop that,
Mm-hmm.
but I also have the ability to like take in what
Yeah.
like I want. Like I talked to my mom about this like a couple days ago. She was like, "What was your opinion on that?" It's like I didn't like it,
Yeah.
but I love the Olympics still.
Yeah. Which is where it gets like
It's hard because they're
Yeah.
like, man, and it's like kind of like the same thing with like rap. Like
Yeah.
I like listening to rap music.
I mean, I grew up like late elementary school, middle school. Most of my high school, I was listening to rap.
Yeah, I love Kanye West.
Yeah, and that's
hard whenever he's
another
like
thing. Yeah,
calling himself a god,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just like, man.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, it's all like my faith is like what I believe in.
Yeah.
Like I know what Kanye West is saying is not right.
yeah,
So I'm not gonna believe that.
Mhm.
But I'll still listen to his music.
Yeah.
So that's like the hard thing with like telling like I've had many talks with my like small
Yeah.
group leaders saying like don't listen to rap music, don't listen to Kanye
Mhm.
West, he's insane. I'm like, yeah. But I'm also listening to what God's saying.
Yeah.
And I'm not listening to what the devil's saying. Like I know
Mhm.
the devil's a lie. And I know like what Kanye is saying is wrong. But I
Yeah.
still like his music. Like
Yeah.
I can not like something about a person, but I can also like something about a
Yeah.
person.
I had a conversation with somebody recently too, and I was telling them, I don't remember what brought me to do that or what specific like moment I was talking about, but um, now, dude, now like I watch movies that I watched before I was a Christian, and now I watch them and I'm like, dude, I don't even want to like watch this because of some of
Yeah,
the stuff that it's like,
it talks about it. And it's
yeah,
like,
or
wow.
like just I don't know, like anything that really has to do with like the devil and stuff, like I just stay away from. Like
Definitely.
I don't know. I'm just like weird about that though. But that's me personally.
I
I'm
don't
not
think
saying
that's I
anybody
don't think
has
that's anything
to.
weird. Is like like it's just kind of just like I know this isn't something
Yeah.
I should watch.
Yeah, cuz I feel like I don't know, even with rap too, like I'll listen to it occasionally and stuff. But I always I always come back to worship music and stuff. Like we had a small group leader come over and hang out with us and we were listening to worship music and he's like, you guys don't have to play worship music just because I'm here. And we're
Yeah,
like, dude, we genuinely, that's what we listen to.
like the past couple of years, my my Apple Music Wrapped,
Dude, yeah.
it's just been like the top 5 songs, top 5 artists, all that stuff has been worship music.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like oh I do it because it looks good for
Mm-hmm.
like God or anything. I just like love listening
Yeah.
to what the songs mean,
Yeah.
and some of them are really catchy.
Mm-hmm.
And literally before we were recording, I
Yeah.
probably sang about 5 different songs
Yeah.
at random times,
We sat here, we'd say a word and it would be a word in a worship song.
and we would just cut to that song.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like it's just good feeling. It makes you feel good when you're
Yeah.
doing it. It's a good way to start off my morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like I start my mornings off like when I get in my car, worship music.
Yeah.
And it's just a good way to continue out the day, just remembering God's with me throughout the whole
Yeah.
thing. So like there are bad parts of entertainment, but I always try to see the good in it
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the whole thing with the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
That was really bad at the beginning.
Yeah.
But the amount of times I saw somebody when they won a race
Yeah.
just
Mm-hmm.
give it all to God.
Yeah. I feel like, especially working in like the entertainment
Hmm.
industry and stuff, and like doing this and stuff now, like there is so much good out there that you can find online.
Definitely.
It just depends like how you use it.
Yeah, definitely. My like, we didn't really say this at the beginning, but our biggest like, for me, my biggest like influence with Christian influencers is Bryce Crawford,
Yeah.
and he just these past year I've seen his content, and I'm like, man, this guy's
Yeah.
changing the world.
I mean,
with,
that's
like,
why
what
we
he's
started
doing.
this. Like,
Yeah, we saw his podcast with George Janko,
yeah.
and like I knew Bryce before that, but like just
Yeah.
but like whenever I saw him on George's podcast, I'm like, George has
Mhm.
had Donald Trump on his podcast.
Yeah.
Like George is big,
Yeah.
and now we just had Bryce Crawford on, and Bryce,
Yeah.
he's such an amazing dude.
Mm-hmm. And what's crazy though is that he's 20, and I think that's kind of where it got me
Yeah,
to want to do this and just like be more out there. Because for those of you guys who don't know, I do like videography and photography, so I'm online a lot, but I never like express like I never like spread the word really like
Mhm.
through like I have this God-given talent that I've struggled with to like use that for his like mission, which now like doing this and like stuff recently, it's been so much more like I don't know, like when I saw the George Janko podcast and Bryce was like, they were like, oh, how old are you? And he's like, yeah, I'm 20. I'm 20.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
I just like forgot that he was 20.
Yeah.
And we're both 20 years old, and we're just kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's our age, changing lives.
Yeah.
And it really did inspire me to like do more stuff, like not like influencer stuff,
Yeah.
but like give more to the church and to God. Like, honestly, just like, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can always share your faith and just, I mean, it's all for God at the end of the day. Like, I don't want like any of this stuff to be like, oh, this guy's like, it's all for him. Like, he just wants to get recognized. No, it's all for God. It's all for God.
I was about to say that. I think I can speak for both of us in saying like, I don't care about like the views on this or like, you know, what comments are said, like what's said about us. I don't care. I don't care about the views. I don't care. Like at the end of the day, I just hope, and I've been praying about it, that what we talk about on here gets to somebody who needs to hear it. And that we like, I don't care if we got like 20 viewers. If one person, if it opens one person's eyes to the gospel and the word of God, that's all I care about, really.
Come on now.
So there's so much good entertainment. Like,
there's very good entertainment.
Yeah.
All right, man. I think that's a pretty good start to it.
Yeah, how are we on time? 32? Okay. Yeah. Well, that's it.
Yeah. Actually, before we like end, I feel like we should probably talk about like what we want to do with this podcast.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, our kind of goal with this podcast is just to spread God's word.
Yeah.
And we want to do our best to make sure we are saying the correct stuff.
Yeah.
Because we want to be saying God's word, but we do have a lot of like with this gray area stuff. A lot of this was our opinion, but it also was backed up with what God says.
Yeah. And that's an opinion. We're not saying it's facts just because it's like, we could be misinterpreting something, which, you know, happens. So it is an opinion at the end of the day. And if we say the wrong things, it is probably very much going to happen. Like, I hope it's not, but like, you know.
And what I hope is, if that does happen, I really do hope somebody.
I hope somebody corrects something,
and because I don't want to be like, I don't know. I just don't want to be like, I have no problem being wrong.
Yeah.
But I also would love to be corrected.
Yeah.
And like told what.
I completely agree.
So, but yeah, we just want to spread the gospel, honestly.
Yeah.
And talk about just how great God is, honestly. Just,
yeah.
He's so good. And like, one day we'll give our testimonies on this podcast.
Yeah.
We plan on having like some of our friends on the podcast as well. They're going to share some of their testimonies, but we're going to have them for special episodes, like for specific things that they are like,
anything they're passionate about, or like anything that like God's put on their heart, whatever they want to.
And also like these topics that I was reading, like the gray areas, we asked our friends for like topics to that they wanted us to talk about, and we have more topics on here that we're going to talk about like later on in other episodes. But today was just kind of like a nice chill.
That's the first one, yeah. And we'll probably dive deeper into more specific things next time. We just kind of wanted to open it up to the possibility of diving deeper into things. And another thing, like you said, we asked our friends about it. If you guys have any topics that you want us to research, or you have like research on it and you want to send it to us, feel free. And in our Instagram bio, we have a Google form you can fill out. It's anonymous. You can put whatever topic you want to get like whatever topic you want us to try to research and to try to cover. You can put it in there. We won't know who.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot promise that we'll get it covered. Like, I can't promise that we'll, be able to cover everything correctly. But I mean, I think we can, like, I think we'll be fine researching stuff.
Yeah.
Between the two of us.
Yeah. Just got to put some effort into it.
Yeah.
It's all about effort.
Yeah.
And definitely want to put some effort into the podcast. So, all right. Well,
yeah.
Thank you so much for watching the Revision podcast. I feel like it was a good first episode.
Yeah.
Good topics.
I really enjoyed this. This is actually a lot of fun.
I'm a lot more calm than when I started. When I started, my hands were sweaty.
Yeah.
But now I'm all good.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, I had to talk with somebody too about public speaking about it. And like, the further I get, like, at the very beginning, I'm so nervous. But once I get going, like, I just feel like I'm just.
Like, it just feels natural now.
Yeah.
It feels like we're just having a normal conversation. We're just not doing.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
A little less goofy than normal.
Yeah, we're trying to be serious.
Serious. Yeah. Well, I think that's about it for today.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll see you guys hopefully next week.
Thank
you guys for watching.
Peace.
It's an honor you guys chose to spend your 37 minutes watching us. Okay, peace out.